The intent of this video is to offer neutral, factual information about the 2014 Bond Referendum. Election Day is Tuesday, November 4th, 2014. There will be 4 propositions on the ballot for citizen consideration. These 4 propositions make up 4 proposed projects in the City of DeSoto, including street improvement, a new fire station number 2, park land improvements, and land acquisition for economic development purposes. Proposition 1. Shall the City Council of the City of DeSoto, Texas be authorized to issue general obligation bonds of the city in the principal amount of $6,300,000 for permanent public improvements and public purposes, to wit, constructing and improving streets, including sidewalks, railroad crossings, signalization, street lighting, public streetscaping, landscaping, curb and gutter replacements, and the acquisition of lands and rights-of-way. Proposition 1 is for street improvements. The proposed area for Proposition 1 is the section of Parkerville Road between Hampton Road and Polk Street. If this proposition is approved on November 4th, this section of roadway will be improved to resemble the 2008 Parkerville Road project, which widened the roadway from Interstate 35 to Polk Street. The proposed improvements will widen this section of Parkerville to a 4-lane divided concrete roadway with underground drainage, and is planned to include the installation of lighting, landscaping, and new sidewalks. Proposition 2. Shall the City Council of the City of DeSoto, Texas be authorized to issue general obligation bonds of the city in the principal amount of $5,250,000 for permanent public improvements and public purposes, to wit, constructing, improving, and equipping firefighting facilities? Proposition 2 will allow for the construction and improvements to firefighting facilities, including the construction of a new fire station number 2. The proposed site for the new fire station number 2 is on Parks Drive. Plans for the new fire station will include facilities to accommodate both male and female firefighters, pull-through bays for large emergency equipment, and training fitness areas for firefighters. Proposition 3. Shall the City Council of the City of DeSoto, Texas be authorized to issue general obligation bonds of the city in the principal amount of $1,575,000 for permanent public improvements and public purposes, to wit, constructing, improving, and equipping park and recreation facilities? If approved by voters, Proposition 3 will provide park improvements as well as several Roy Orr Trail extensions, which are intended to close existing gaps and create a more comprehensive trail system in the City of DeSoto. Mantlebrook Park Trail. The proposed Mantlebrook Park Trail extension will add a half-mile loop trail at Mantlebrook Drive and Beverly Drive. This proposed trail will connect to the Roy Orr Trail system. Roy Orr Trail extension to Wintergreen Road. Roy Orr Trail will be extended from Merck's Parkway to an area near the intersection of Wintergreen Road and Westmoreland Road. Roy Orr Trail extension to Alpine Drive. Roy Orr Trail will be extended from Murphy Hills Park to Alpine Drive. DeSoto Ranch Nature Trail, Phase 1. Proposition 3 will also fund the first phase of development for the DeSoto Ranch Nature Trail. This nature trail is planned to include pond features. Briarwood Park. If approved by voters, Proposition 3 will fund the Briarwood Park renovation, which will include updates and improvements such as trail, lighting, and other park amenities. Meadow Creek Park. Proposed plans for improvements to Meadow Creek Park will include the construction of additional athletic fields with lighting, irrigation, and drainage. To summarize, there are 6 components that make up Proposition 3. Construction of a nature trail, improvements to the existing trail system in 3 areas, and improvements to 2 existing parks. Proposition 4. Shall the City Council of the City of DeSoto, Texas, be authorized to issue general obligation bonds of the city in the principal amount of $6,300,000 for permanent public improvements and public purposes, to wit: economic development within the area described in the Hampton Road Corridor Redevelopment Plan, including the acquisition of land. Proposition 4 will establish a $6,300,000 land acquisition account, which will be used for the purchase of land for economic development purposes for an area described within the Hampton Road Redevelopment Plan. This area is generally located along Hampton Road and is generally bound by an area just south of Beltline Road and an area just north of Pleasant Run Road. The exact location of land has not yet been identified. Now you may be wondering how these 4 propositions might affect citizens' taxes. Here, you'll see a list of estimated tax rate impacts. A copy of this chart and more details can also be found on the city's website. The November 2014 bond proposal contains 4 propositions. They encompass street improvements, a new fire station number 2, parkland and trail improvements, and land acquisition for economic development purposes. As a voter in DeSoto, you are encouraged to review this video, the bond election brochure, or the city's website or Facebook page if you have any questions before voting. This information will be available at the Town Hall meeting on September 13th, beginning at 10 a.m. at DeSoto Town Center in the City Council chambers. Propositions on the 2014 Bond Referendum ballot will also be discussed during the DeSoto Dining and Dialogue Dinner event scheduled for September 20th, beginning at 6:30 p.m. in the DeSoto Civic Center Pecan Rooms. Because there is limited space, those who wish to participate in the DeSoto Dining and Dialogue Dinner are asked to RSVP by calling 972-230-9648. Early voting begins October 20th, and Election Day is November 4th. All voting takes place at the DeSoto Public Library Assembly Room.